The In Conversation podcast series with author Nigel Beckles.
Welcome to the podcast.
Please like the podcast and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
Have you experienced several failed relationships or been through a divorce? How can you avoid making the same mistakes again? How to avoid making the big relationship mistakes is out now.
Hi, my name is Nigel Beckles. My new book is packed with practical and common sense strategies that you can use to make better relationship choices.
Now you can discover the dangerous myths about love. If your relationship expectations are realistic, why you could be falling in love for all the wrong reasons.
How to avoid making the big relationship mistakes. It's a book that could change your life.
Available from amazon.co.uk. Kindle version also available.
The very best way to promote your podcasts. Podpage makes it easy to create a podcast website with just a few clicks. Every page is optimized to be found on Google and it stays up to date forever. For more information, visit podpage.com. The future of podcast promotion.
Get ready for takeoff.
Welcome back to my In Conversation podcast series. My guest for this episode is a man who has survived life-threatening prostate cancer. Singer and entrepreneur Hughie Crawford. Hi Hughie, welcome back to my podcast series. Previous conversation we had, you discussed your experience with having prostate cancer. So when and how did you begin to think something was wrong?
To be quite honest with you, I didn't actually know anything was wrong in the outset. I just felt quite run down. So I'm a hypochondriac, and I'm quite glad that I was a hypochondriac at that moment, because I just felt quite run down. I had a few little mishaps the year before, and I suppose the stress and everything else probably got to me. And so I just went to the doctor. I said, look, I just feel kind of run down and stuff. And basically, my doctor wasn't actually there. I happened to see a doctor that I'd never seen. He's always in the surgery, but I'd never seen him. And he asked me what was going on. And I said, look, I just feel a bit run down, and so on and so forth. So he asked me my age, told him. He just said, look, he's going to ask me he's going to do some tests. The first test he did was a urine test. I did a urine test for him. Same time he looked at it, he said it's very clear, and he didn't see anything in it that could suggest why I felt the way I did. Obviously, they can tell a lot by, your urine and all that kind of stuff. And but he said he's going to send it off to the lab, because you could see with the naked eye, you can't see everything. A few days later, I got a call from the surgery to say you need to come in, about 4 days or something later. And I went in, saw the same doctor, didn't see my own doctor. He said he wanted to do like a test about, he started talking about prostate, which I didn't really know anything about at the time. He said he wanted to do a prostate test. So at that point, I said, okay, what does it involve? And he told me, and I thought, hold on a minute, because obviously it's a finger test that they do. He said he thinks that I might have a bit of enlarged prostate. He said, how are you going to toilet? How are you urinating? Is it quick? Is it slow? I said, it's a little bit slow, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. So he did the test and immediately said that I've got an enlarged prostate. And he said the test that came back showed there was specks of blood in the urine, which he could not see with the naked eye. A little bit got me worried, but I wasn't terribly worried at the time, because I didn't think that there was anything to it. He then said, look, I'm going to send you for a biopsy just to be sure, because you've got an enlarged prostate, but sometimes enlarged prostates could mean that there's something wrong. Obviously, I went on to the biopsy, which they take 12 samples, and lo and behold, it came back that there was cancer in the prostate, which was quite worrying, obviously. And then that's where everything started rolling on from. This was in 2013. It wasn't a case of me thinking everything was wrong. I just felt a bit run down, and just spurred me on to go to have my normal checkup as I normally do. And that's what came out of it.
So when you first went to the doctor until you actually got the final diagnosis, how long was that?
That was probably 2 to 3 weeks, because what happened, they then booked an appointment for me to go to King's College Hospital, and I had a few different appointments back and forth at King's College until they referred me to Guy's. After the biopsy, of course, I had to see one of the specialists at King's College, who then confirmed that it was definitely cancer. Needless to say, I was quite shocked. At that time, I could tell you how I felt. I just numb, really.
So what type of support did you receive after you got the news?
Well, to be quite honest with you, the only person that really supported me was my wife. I didn't make it common knowledge. I didn't sort of tell a lot of people, because you find that sometimes you just go into yourself. But the support was mainly from home, which was top rate support, to be honest with you. I couldn't say anything less than that. And then obviously I started telling one or two people in the family and a couple of close friends, and they obviously supported me. One very good friend of mine, Jack Rubin, big up to Jack Rubin, whoever you are. He supported me to the full, called me every day, just to see how I was feeling. At that time as well, we were running a production company, him and myself, and I suppose the stress of it in my mind, I just couldn't concentrate. A couple of people was there supportive, but it didn't last long in terms of me feeling negative, because I did feel quite negative initially. And so I decided to, ask the doctors, well, how long have I got? Because then you start thinking all sorts of things, you know what I mean? And I said, how long have I got? Am I likely to die in the next 5 years? Which was the question that I asked the consultant that I was speaking to at the hospital. And they said, no, it's highly unlikely. And when he said that, it's like he just exhaled. That's just put me right at ease. And I said, well, then my mind came back to me. If you understand what I'm saying to you, I got myself back again. And I thought, okay, well, I can't put my hand in there and take it out. And you start thinking all these things. You can't push your hand in there and physically take it out. You can't drink and wash it out. So there's got to be a way to get it out. And then when I started thinking on that level, I kind of started relaxing and basically just concentrating on the ways as which to help myself. Obviously, as I said, my wife was there all the time. She kind of took a lot of time of work to actually support me as well, and gave me, instilled more confidence. So look, don't worry, you know what I mean, because things will be okay. And so from there, that's how it went on from there. To be honest with you, I had a few different treatments. Radiotherapy was offered to me, and removal. There was a few other treatment options which they said because of my age wasn't available to me, which was a brachytherapy, which is one that they put the little balls into your prostate, radioactive balls into your prostate, and that burns out the prostate. It's all a burning situation. Obviously chemotherapy, which is like a last resort. But I was afraid of having the op, which is the main two that was offered to me was an op. I was afraid to do the operation, I'll tell you the honest truth, because after seeing the video of how the operation was, I thought, no, that's not for me. Radiotherapy, I had a radiotherapy when I first started out. That was one of the treatments that I took, and a hormone treatment. I opted to have radiotherapy. And alongside that, you have 6 months of hormone treatment. The side effects are, obviously you get, you got no usage down there or very minimal. It usually affects the chest area when you take hormone tablets, which means you're going to get moves. As I said, I was afraid to take the operation, so hence I went for the radiotherapy. And as I said, as a result of that, it burnt out a lot of the cancer which was in my prostate. But after a year or so, obviously it came back, because obviously there were still some cells which they'd missed. So none of it's actually fully guaranteed. But if they do catch it early enough, you got a very, very high percentage chance of them getting rid of it, permanently. But then again, after that, it's up to you to keep your diet strict, have a strict regime or certain things.
So what type of changes did you make to your lifestyle?
The first one was obviously I used to smoke. I was a smoker, and I gave up smoking straight away, almost immediately. And I think for me that was a victory, because I'd been smoking for many, many, many years. I just decided, look, that's it. That's one of the things that I need to do, is to stop smoking. Drinks, obviously, we used to have our little weekend drinks and stuff like that. I just stopped all that. And then going on from there, I basically decided my wife and I sat down and spoke about diets and so on and so forth. And we spoke to a few people who, dietitians and people like that, to find out about the foods. Because obviously we started researching as well as to what could be the root cause, because as we were hearing that this affects more black men than it does anyone else. Prostate cancer affects more black men than any other Caucasian in the world. So there must be a reason behind it. So obviously we did a lot of research on the foods. My whole diet changed. I gave up eating meat, dairy. Obviously a lot of the things that sugar, which are up to today, none of those things do I have. So I gave up quite a lot of things to try and help myself, because what happened as well during the course of the time is that after we referred to guys, they put you on a day release to the hospital to watch a video, an operation for prostate cancer. Because they tell you what, the different things that you'd need to do, or the treatments that you could have. That was one of the things that kind of made me look deeper into researching and seeing what was needed to be done that you could use to help yourself, really.
Well, I lost a very close friend of mine to prostate cancer a few years ago. And considering 1 in 4 black men will very likely get it, what advice would you share?
Well, first and foremost is the advice that I'd be sharing is to all the men over 35 and over, because to be quite honest with you, quite a lot of the younger generation, I mean, a lot of them are quite fit, but a lot of them are not fit. I'd say to them, get fit. That's a very important thing to do, is to exercise, drink a lot of water, and look at your diet, because at the moment, you find a lot of them will have, as you get older, you get enlarged prostate. A lot older men than myself who have lived and smoked, they've drunk and everything, they've never had prostate cancer. So there must be something in there which brings this on. And it's all about your cells, good and bad cells in your body. So it's about looking after your dietary requirements, your health. You know, when people say your health is your wealth, that's so true. I'd also say go and always get a regular check. A PSA check, a lot of people are afraid to get a check because they think it's the finger thing, you know what I mean? But it's the simple PSA blood test now, guys, just to let you all know that, right? It's a simple PSA blood test, which you take a blood test and they can tell you what your prostate-specific antigen is, yeah? The activity in your prostate. And that's all it takes. And it depends on the level. It will tell you whether you're, which will then determine whether you need to just watch and wait, or whether you need to take further action, i.e. taking a biopsy or what have you. And one of the most important things of all, not to worry, yeah? Because stress brings on a lot of things. Brings on acidity in your body, because acidity creates bad cells, you know what I mean? And it does affect that area of your body. So I'd say one of the first and most important things is, first of all, don't worry, and then take the necessary steps, i.e. blood test, you know, your regular exercises, and just get yourself checked out.
I certainly hope the information you've shared, Hughie, will encourage men to go and get themselves checked out.
Absolutely. I must say, there's a lot of black men, a lot of them I know are afraid. There's a lot of them out there that I know who have probably never had a check, and they're afraid to go and get a check because they're afraid of knowing if there's something wrong. It's best to know than not to know, because at least you can do something about it. If they catch it early enough, they can do something about it.
Hughie Crawford, thank you very much for your time. Stay well and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Nige. God bless. Take care.
Black men are more likely to get prostate cancer than other men. 1 in 4 black men will get prostate cancer in their lifetime. Black men are more likely to get prostate cancer if they are aged 45 or more. The risk increases as a man gets older. Also, if a father or brother has had it, there is a greater risk. For further information online, please visit Prostate Cancer UK organization or the Zero Cancer organization. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. Another In Conversation podcast coming soon.